Hey folks, it is July 29th, and earlier this week in my video I mentioned that on this day this year it's 3 years on testosterone.
Well,
3 years. I I can't believe, like, I looked at some photos, some videos. Here's this one.
today's the day!
When I got my first shot of testosterone, and it was pretty funny. Like, I remember just being so excited. It was like 2 months leading up to this of just like pure excitement. There was an appointment I had previously where I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get this prescription. I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna get my shot right then and there. uh, that's not what worked out. I ended up getting my shot later on July 29th, and yeah, I remember walking into the health center, the community health center, and I was just so excited. And the whole day, I was like, the like morning leading up to it, I was thinking like, okay, it's gonna hurt, it's okay, this is gonna feel so good. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, what if I like, get the injection, and then it's just like, woof. And I know that's not rational or realistic, that like, of course that's not what's gonna happen. You're not gonna like get a shot of testosterone and turn into like some sort of other being. But I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get my first shot, and then like November that is gonna roll around, I'm gonna be able to do my first Movember. I had wild expectations. And yeah, so I walked in, got into the room, and talking through everything, and the doctor was like, okay, you ready, let's do the shot. And she poked my butt, gave me my testosterone, and I had worked myself up so much. I was just like, when it happened, I felt all this like adrenaline like in my body. And and I I got pale. Like, I was like white as a sheet, pale. I started getting like tunnel vision. My mouth was all like dry, and like, that cotton ball mouth. And like my hearing was all like tunnely as well. It was just, my body was just like, whoa, this is a huge thing, and it's actually happened. And it wasn't anything to do with the testosterone or anything. That was just my own mind psyching myself out, because I was like, it's gonna hurt so much, it's gonna do all this stuff. And it didn't hurt. Like, I could feel the like testosterone just floating around in there, with my like the hand like touching my butt. But other than that, so I got white as a sheet. I was dizzy, seeing stars. They made me sit down, put my head between my knees, and I got like a little mango juice, and just to kind of get my blood sugar leveled out. And then I had to wait there for another like 20 minutes or so, and they're like, just to make sure that nothing bad is going to happen. But that is so, yeah, that's when I got my first shot of testosterone, and now it's 3 years later. I think one of the things that I was most excited about getting on hormones was just the physical changes. I was really excited about um, just getting hairy, my voice changing, um, and seeing how and if it would change just like the way like fat is distributed, my muscle mass, and all that. And I have to say that like I am very satisfied with the physical changes that being on testosterone has allowed for my body to undergo. And for me, like, that, I have to say, yeah, it's one of those things where like I went in excited for, and I was able to see it to a, a quantity or the quality that satisfied me. And that's really exciting for myself just to look back on. Um, Something that like I didn't think of, and it's small and silly, but going into it, I was just so excited about just getting on hormones, getting on T, that it never really occurred to me that once, like, this is going to be a weekly thing I'm going to have to do for the rest of my life. And and it wasn't until like the first year I was under my belt that it really hit me. I was like, damn, this is gonna be the rest of my life. Like, I'm not gonna like train my body to start producing the hormone levels that I want. I'm going to need to be physically like injecting myself. And I still forget about that it's a weekly thing for the foreseeable future. I think the last thing I'll talk about is like the general idea of like a second puberty. Like, one puberty is tough. It's full of just everything and hormones, and going through a second one, as much as you could, like, yeah, I read things and I prepared and I understood stuff, but you just never know. You like never know what it's going to mean. And I feel like I'm not done with the second puberty yet, but it has been a time the past 3 years of immense growing and a lot of angst and a lot of new ways of accessing emotions and feeling things, and I feel like I am learning myself. I'm relearning myself. I'm getting to know myself, and it's very frustrating and it's very exciting, and it's also a sense of accomplishment. This, like, to sit here and say, yeah, it's 3 years later, and I'm getting into like the second half of my 20s, and I'm here, and I have plans, and I have a life, and I'm doing things, and I'm excited, and life is hard, and there's a lot of other things, but I'm here and I'm doing these things, and I have been able to check off some pretty big goals for myself so far, and I'm proud of myself for that, and I'm excited for what is in store for my life, and what is in store for the things, like, I'll be able to sit down and be like, yeah, I did that, I was able to do that. And I think getting on testosterone, getting myself to that day one, that first July 29th, I didn't think I was gonna get there, and I didn't think it would happen a lot of the time. And to be able to sit 3 years on the other side of this, and know that I was able to continuously step up for myself and fight for the appropriate and affirming healthcare. I'm very proud of myself, but I'm also excited to see the future generations not have to do that, and I'm excited to see how we will become better. Yeah. Thanks for sitting down with me. I'm super excited about the 3 years. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button and hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I hope you're having an awesome weekend. Be safe.
Once in my life.